And on the way to Memorial Day, Yom Hazikaron, in our beloved country this year is going to be very different.
I think the word, the choice, is I feel it every day. Now in life, I face a lot of hard choices, and a couple of weeks after he took the audition, he fell in combat.
And just before he fell, they said that they will never forget how he sat and sang with them. And so music became very significant for us.
And I feel like the only thing right now that can fill this empty space that he left is music. Because music, it goes to our deepest places in the heart, I feel it.
Shalom Michal.
Shalom Tamar.
My name is Rabbi Tamar. I'm a rabbi here in Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, of a community called Zion. It's a community of Jews from all denominations who want to pray together, study together, and do kindness together. And also one of the founders of Rabbanut Israelit. It's a rabbinate of rabbis from all around Israel who work together in a seminary and a network.
Wow.
But beyond all these, I'm also a sister. I'm the sister of Nadav, who fell as a warrior in an elite paratrooper unit 23 years ago. And I remember him every day. And on the way to Memorial Day, Yom Hazikaron, in our beloved country this year is going to be very different. And here at Beit Avichai, we very much wanted to meet a sister of a beloved, unique human being, Shauli, to meet you, to hear about him, to hear about you, to hear about music and your family, and to carry the beauty of who you are and the memory of Shauli with us into Memorial Day. I want to say that there are so many sisters like us and brothers like our brothers, and we're sitting here as representatives. But I think that each and every voice is so unique. It reminds us that the story is not a story of death. It's a story of the sanctity of life, as our incredible, ancient, eternal people know how to remember and sing. So I hope that we will remember and sing today.
Amen.
In their honor.
Yeah. The sanctity of life is a powerful phrase. That was my brother. He lived his life to the fullest, and he was alive.
Wow. Could you tell us about him? Tell us about Shauli. I want to imagine him, to get to know him, about your connection.
So Shauli is my younger brother. We're 5 kids. I have an older sister, and then me, Shauli, and then 2 more brothers. We're a very close family. Our parents raised us, also we're very close at the age, but we're always together. If I need someone, I call my sister. If I want to laugh, I meet my brother. We hang out a lot together. We're very, very close. Me and my brother shared a dream to be a singer, and we shared a hobby, which is singing, which is a hobby of my whole family. We all do it. Some more professional, some just do it, but we sing together. It's something very unique about my family. You get in the house, you see the piano, it's the heart of the house.
Wow.
Everybody gathers around the piano and we just sing. That's how we talk, that's how we communicate.
You remember yourself singing together since childhood?
Yeah. My brother used to sing with my father since he was 6 in the prayers of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur in the synagogue. He was there, a 6-year-old, and then 20 years he was with him. Also my 2 younger brothers as well, as a choir next to my father. So yeah, our family is very musical, very, very close. Shauli was he was a ray of light when he enters a room. Some say because he was bald, but and he sparked, but he has sparks on his head. But no, he got in a room. He was very confident and very loving and very. You can feel the heat and the caring, and he was a very people's person.
Wow.
In that way, it was very easy to connect to him. And he was one of my best friends. Also my brother, but one of my best friends, and we shared the same dream. So we were working together a lot around music and performing and this and that. In the beginning of the war, he knew that he had to be a part of the war on October 7th, and he joined the Nachal unit as a commander. In the meantime, he was participating in a reality show named The Next Star to the Eurovision, like American Idol, and he performed there. He passed the audition. Everybody loved him, expected him to be in a very high rank in the show, but he had to make the decision and the choice of whether to continue in the show or go to the army, to the war, to the reserve.
Wow.
I think the choice is very, I feel it every day. We always have a choice. We choose every day what to do in the small things and in the bigger things. Now in life, I face a lot of hard choices. It's not easy to get up in the morning. It's not easy to continue with the life after a loss like that. Mm-hmm. But I know that I have the choice. And so Shauli's choice gave me an inspiration of knowing that I have in my hands to pick this or that, and I have to measure my beliefs and my faith and whatever I feel like is the right thing to do in the moment. And he chose to stay in the reserve. And a couple of weeks after he took the audition, he fell in combat with another commander who was with him, Shai Shamwez. Mm. And as you said, there's so many sisters like us, and it's like it's comforting because I know a lot of people know what I'm going through, but each one has it in their own way.
I want to thank you for telling us about him. I feel his presence, and I also feel his presence in you. You know, it's also a choice to carry him in you, and also to continue living with him within you. I think a lot about us. We're very alike, I think, in many ways, because both of us come from musical families. I heard that your grandfather was a chazan, and our grandfather was a chazan too, one of the last chazanim of Dilm. And I remember Nadav, my brother, sitting next to my grandfather. I'm darker, and with dark hair. And I look a bit more like my Moroccan side of the family. But Nadav looked more like our Ashkenazi, French, Yeki, German part of the family. He was very white. He had, and fair, he had very light brown hair. He had these very, very, very sort of blue-gray eyes, an incredible voice. Wow. I think the voice was really, it was his neshama. And I remember him sitting next to my grandfather. They looked very much the same. They were very funny, and you never knew if they were singing or laughing. Their singing sounded like laughing. And he sang. He was in Bnei Akiva. All of us were singers in Tzevet Havai Bnei Akiva.
Wow.
Like the youth group of Bnei Akiva.
In
Jerusalem. We were all around Israel, and there was a gathering, quite a short while before he fell in combat. And I remember that all four brothers were there, and everyone laughed at us because it's a whole family who was singing and knew, how to sing Kadesh Chayecha B'Torah and how to move from one side to the other. And the night before he fell in Hebron, that was in August 2001, so his team were very sad for some reason, and he took out his guitar and he sang all night with them, and that's what they remember. And just before he fell, they said that they will never forget how he sat and sang with them. And so music became very significant for us. It was always, and it became even more so. Can you say something about music for you? What was it for you before, and what is it for you now?
Firstly, the story you just said, we hear stories also like that all the time. In Gaza, there are nights very scary, a lot of planes and rockets, and Shauli would sing, no instruments, and yet they had to be quiet, but he sang, so I feel like they're very alike. And the laughing, I connect to that a lot. Music has always been something that I knew gives me strength, and I can express myself in a very accurate way when I sing. But I always took it as a side thing because, like, a music career and something to do it big, it's a lot of effort. It's a different life. So I did my first degree, and now I'm finishing my MBA in business and in international relations and history, and I always took that as something aside. But Shauli, on the other hand, knew he's going to be a singer. He would enter a room, say, "I'm a singer." And they were like, "Can I hear you on Spotify and YouTube?" "No, but I will be a singer."
Wow.
So at first I thought it was pride by saying, "I'm a singer, yeah, I'll show you what I got." Then I realized he was so sure of himself, and he was so on the road to being that star he knew he could be. And so now I'm jealous in that. So when he fell, there's like, in Hebrew you say halal, which is space. He fell and he left us a space, empty space. And I feel like the only thing right now that can fill this empty space that he left is music, because that was our language. And when he fell, something hit me in the days after, saying, I cannot live my life with music aside and doing all the regular things. I have to stop and just fulfill myself to the fullest through music, like he knew he would do.
Wow.
So when you say he's with me, I feel him every time in a different place. Sometimes his hand is here because I'm shaking. Sometimes he's in my soul and I get to this high note that I didn't know I can get to. And I feel like music right now is like a medicine for me. People say, how can you get up every morning after he fell and you have a show this and an interview here and this and perform in front of soldiers and in front of... And I say, I feel like the power is like so strong, so from deep inside, and the way to express it is mainly through music, because music, it goes to our deepest places in the heart. I feel it. That you can sit in your car, listening to the radio, there's a song, you suddenly cry. Like, what is that? Where does the tear come from? Then you realize that it's very spiritual music. And right now it's my medicine, and I know it will be, because his voice, like you said, Nadav's voice, still in the ear. Now it's very fresh, and gladly we have a lot of recordings and a lot of videos of him. And hopefully we will make an album of his songs. So music is very... He's like alive when music is on.
Mamash. You know that it's interesting because the Jewish sages say that the word shir, song, comes from sha'ar.
Wow.
It's like a gateway. Everything seems to us so far away and so categorized, but it's a sha'ar, it's a gateway to something that is eternal, to the soul, to everything that is greater than us, to memories that are greater than us. We are a people of memory that is greater than us. And many times I think that Israel comes from shir. You know, we are the people who sing. It doesn't matter what we go through, we sing. And we sing with all our might, and we sing with the last drop of strength we have, and we sing with the first drop of hope that we have, because the song is the song of faith, of emunah. And we fill the room with that. And I feel that you're filling the room with that. You're filling the room with you and your huge, beautiful neshama, soul. And you're filling the whole world with it. And how can anyone not listen to that? This is the song of hope. This is the song of the courage to live, of the courage to hope, of the courage to create a worthy reality for all human beings. So let's hear you when you sing.
Wow. So the song that I wanna play, there's a little story about where we recorded it. On the last Memorial Day, Yom Hazikaron, Shaul and I decided to record a song so people would know us and there'll be a lot of views, and then they'll maybe go to the radio. So we pointed that we're going to do it on Sunday. I told him be there at 8, and brothers like brothers fight, and Shaul and I were very different. I was very accurate on time. He was always late. I could kill him for these kind of moments where everything is like tied up. I'm very organized, and he's like, and I always tell him, you have to drink tea before you sing, and he would smoke cigarettes and drink black coffee. And so I get up in the morning, I come to pick him up, 8:30, we need to be in the studio, in the recording studio. He's not on time. I call him, he's asleep, I wake him up, he's coming. I am screaming at him, I will never do this again with you. Who do you think you are that you're late for me? And he gets to the car with a cigarette in one hand and with black coffee. And I say, we're going to record a song. What did I tell you? We get in the recording studio. He opens his mouth, morning, so the voice is in heat. And he said, and that's it. I told him, I can't do this. Brothers fight. I get out, I scream, I cry. He's like, he looks at me and he says, he says, Michal, I hear what you say. I don't accept that. I can be who I am. You do you, I'll be me. And we have two options. One option is we leave the room, no song, we explode everything goes. We don't speak now, or you realize we're different. We get in the recording studio, we'll record the song, and we'll go eat breakfast together. Gladly, my ego was willing to give up on the fight, and I told him, let's do this, let's record a song.
Wow.
The words are just, it's in Hebrew, and the words are about loss and about wanting him to come in my dreams. And it's just crazy that we recorded the song together, which is the last song we recorded together. And in the funeral, after I said a few words on the grave, we put the song on. And this is just a little thing that showed me that brothers can fight. The good thing to learn from it is how to make up after, and how to know that we're different, but we can be friends, we can be together, and not step on each other. And I'm so happy I have this song.
Mamash toda. Let's all hear it so we can all remember it and sing with you.
זוכרת דברים שאמרת, כמו ים שזוכר את החוף. גלים מגלים את הרוח, כמו שהלב יגלם מכאוב.
הלילה מאיר את הבוקר, שמאיר אותי ממיטתי. ואיך כבר אוכל עוד לברוח מזיכרונך אל שפיותי, עד אחרי הנצח, עד לפני הכל, ניפגש תראה בסוף, זמן הוא ים אך לא החוף, עד קצוות הרוח, עד יכפה
כוכב שוב נפל בשמיים, ומישהו ביקש משאלה. השמש טובעת במים, כמו שאני טובעת בך. לא תדע איך שמחתי בלילה, כשבאת אליי בחלום. באור שעל נועם פניך, ראיתי שטוב שמצאת מקום. עד אחרי הנצח, עד לפני הכל.
It's beautiful. It's eternal.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you fought that day because you can always remember it. It's interesting that I really remember the fights with my brother. I remember us because it was so close. And I think about the fact that after my brother Nadav fell, it was 23 years ago. He was supposed to be 42 now. So I could hear his beautiful voice in every place. I looked for it in every place. I remember back then, one of the very known songs was of Eviatar Banai, Yesh li sikoy lehinatzel. And I remember that we started singing it in Shul on Yom Kippur evening. Ya'ale tachanuneinu me'erev. And every Yom Kippur I would wait because I felt I was singing with him or I was listening to him. On the first Yom Ha'atzmaut, after we were married, both of us, I think you and I, both were married about 1 year. And then they fell. You 9 months and I was 1 year. So we decided, when he was still alive, we decided to do Yom Ha'atzmaut prayer in our house. And he led the prayer. Wow. And I remember that at the end of the year, when he was no longer here, Yossi and I asked ourselves, what are we going to do? And we said, we will do the prayer of Independence Day. That's the way to remember him. That's the way to live with him. That's the way to create the country he wanted. And it gave us so much koach, so much strength. And we never gave up. And we created the community of Tzion on the evening of Yom Ha'atzmaut in his honor.
Wow.
So I want to speak about his honor and his strength and the memory and what gives you koach. Because you look so gentle, but you have so much strength. There's something huge about you. And I want to ask, you have a family that supports you, but what gives you koach? And one of the things you say in this beautiful song is you speak about the wind and about the sea. What are the things that give you koach and that are the sanctity of his life and your life together now?
I think I'm figuring it out, trying this and trying that to search for the thing that gives me really strength and not emptying me. I know that now we drove the whole family after the 7 days, after the Shiva, to the desert for 3 days.
Wow.
Alone. And being in an open space, where I can see a nice view, sunset, sunrise. When I have the wind, when I have room for my heart to, it's like when I sing, even in a recording studio where it's very small, I close my eyes and I imagine a desert, something big, something endless. And I live near the beach, so I go and stare at the waves, which is sometimes very hard because then the thoughts are in my head and I realize what happened. The biggest thing that gives me strength is I feel like he's right here sitting with me. What would he say if he was here? And when we're at an event or a holiday or something that he should be here but he's not, at the beginning we cry and then my father says, what would he say if he'd look at you crying like this on Purim? Like, get up. If we're at a wedding of his best friend, get up, go to your friend, Shaul is looking at you. But I feel like it's not he's looking at me and he's judging me for what I do. He's looking at me saying, go, 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 go. You go, girl. One time we sat together, him and I was very afraid of doing something or going for something that I believed in, but I was afraid. He told me, you go, girl. He had these sentences, then he left. And I wrote it in my diary that day. I think it was on COVID.
Wow.
And I have, you go, girl, Shauli.
Wow.
So I really, and also in his pictures when he's smiling and his blue eyes is looking at me, I'm like, I can't let you down. I don't want to, because I know that if it was up to you, you'd go down and say like, guys, I'm fine. I'm in a good place. Everybody loves me up there. Guys, you fulfill your dreams. I fulfilled mine. I'm done. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Madhim, that's his memory, and that's his legacy.
Mama.
For you to sing, for you to live. So we're in really our very last minutes, and I wanted to tell you that we're sitting so close, and yet there's a lot of time that in many ways, there's a lot of time between us. You lost your brother in December 26th of this year, and I lost my brother in August 23 years ago.
Wow.
And I sit here and look at you, and I also see myself 23 years ago, young and just married, so loving. And I hope it's okay to tell you something
Yes,
about...
please do. Please
Mamash.
do.
On one hand, I want to say the memories are so, so deep, and they only become deeper. You know, my brother loved Milky. So every time I think of him or I see Milky, I always think of him. I made sure that our girls, love Milky the way he did, and sing the way he did, and laugh the way he did, and all of their names are connected to him in many ways. But I also feel that the more the time goes by, I feel that his light is shared by so many people. So many of his friends called their sons Nadav. Wow. And his light is spread all around this world. And it's like a sun, like you said, a ray of sun that's so big and so beautiful, and so many people hold it together. And every time I see them, I see something of him. And so many of us carry him in so many tiny things we do, in the kindness that we have to others. He always said that every human being has in his heart love and dignity. And also the Zohar says that every human being has two wings on his heart. They're actually the lungs. One wing, one lung is love, and one wing, one lung is dignity. And if we only give that to human beings, then we remember what really matters in life. So every time I have the chance to see one person giving dignity to the other, or kindness and love, I say, oh, Nadav is here. He's remembered. And I think when the time goes by, you understand that all of us have no idea how long we'll be here. It's really about creating something meaningful, belonging to something meaningful, and elevating the sorrow of life to the courage of the joy to live together and remember them always. And wherever there is joy, I feel my brother. When two little children play and laugh, I feel he's here. And I think in their honor, the honor of these heroes who did not want to be heroes, but they were willing to do so. They did not appreciate death, they appreciated life. And they appreciated the Jewish people and the Israeli society with all its inhabitants, and our ability to create a world that really gives inspiration for every human being on this planet. So if Shauli and Nadav would sit here, I'm sure that somewhere in this world they sit together and they sing now.
For sure.
And Shauli tells Nadav about all the songs he doesn't know about. And they sit and laugh with their beautiful eyes and souls. What do you think they would tell us? What do you want us to remember from your brother, from Shauli, as we enter Memorial Day and then Independence Day, and we go on to Shavuot, and then we go on to Yom Yerushalayim that wants for us the best. What do you want us to remember and to carry with us this year, this very difficult and special year?
I think that Shauli was very connected to what he believed that was the essence of life, which is family and safety and happiness. And when that was crushed on October 7th, he didn't hesitate. He knew that he would fight against evilness and misjustice, and he would do anything to maintain love, family, and happiness and joy. And I feel like the more I connect to the essence of life, which is family, my closest family, my friends, my country, my people, I'm closer to him, because that was his mindset when he went to battle, and that was the mindset that we grew on. My family, my parents, they raised us for that. And when time comes, he was there to put his foot down and say, no, I'll fight against that, and I will protect our family and our country. So as long as I'm connected to the essence of life and I don't get confused with voices that our fear or anger, I think his memory is vivid and I can see it.
Wow. Amen. May we fight against evil.
Amen.
And may we stand together for joy, for family, for love, for everything that is dear to us and to all human beings. And may we always, always show that light of Shauli, of Nadav, of our brothers, to the whole entire world, to the Jewish people, and to the most beautiful heritage that we have been born into. Michal, I want to thank you from all my heart. I want to thank your courage to bring the story of Shauli. I want to thank your courage to live. I want to thank your courage to sing. I want to thank your courage to sit here together and to shine. You're shining his glow and your glow, and every human being who will see this will feel it and remember and sing the song of life and courage. Toda rabba.
Toda, thank you.
יום אחד זה יקרה, בלי שנרגיש משהו ישתנה, משהו ירגע בנו, משהו ייגע בנו, ולא יהיה ממה לחשוש. וזה יבוא כמו קו חרוט על כף יד, זה יבוא בטוח בעצמו, כאילו היה שם תמיד וחיכה שנבחין בו. זה יבוא, אתה תראה, הידיים הקפוצות יתארכו, והלב השומר לא להיפגע יפעם בקצב רגיל. זה יבוא כמו שהטבע רגיל, להיות שלם עם עצמו. יום אחד זה יקרה, בלי שנרגיש משהו ישתנה, משהו ירגע בנו, משהו ייגע בנו, ולא יהיה ממה לחשוש. זה יבוא כמו קו חרוט על כף יד, זה יבוא בטוח בעצמו, כאילו היה שם תמיד וחיכה שנבחין בו. וזה יבוא, אתה תראה, הידיים הקפוצות יתארכו, והלב השומר לא להיפגע יפעם בקצב רגיל. זה יבוא כמו שהטבע רגיל, אתה תראה, הידיים הקפוצות יתארכו, והלב השומר לא להיפגע יפעם בקצב רגיל. זה יבוא כמו שהטבע רגיל, להיות שלם. וזה יבוא, אתה הרי יודע, לא הכל יטלטל אותנו, לא הכל יקה, ומה שיפתח לנו מחכה.